I'm going to read a poem by Edward Thomas titled The Owl. It's spoken by a lone traveler walking in the night. He's hungry, cold, and tired until he reaches an inn where he finds refreshment. But then he hears a sound that reminds him of those less fortunate, the unsheltered, still out there. The owl. Downhill I came, hungry and yet not starved, cold, yet had heat within me that was proof against the north wind, tired, yet so that rest had seemed the sweetest thing under a roof. Then at the inn, I had food, fire, and rest, knowing how hungry, cold, and tired was I. All of the night was quite barred out except an owl's cry, a most melancholy cry, shaken out long and clear upon the hill. No merry note, no cause of merriment, but one telling me plain what I escaped and others could not that night as in I went. And salted was my food and my repose, salted and sobered too by the bird's voice, speaking for all who lay under the stars, soldiers and poor, unable to rejoice. It's a poem, I think, that asks us to ask ourselves if there's a sound or some stimulus that makes us aware of those unsheltered, the hungry, the cold, the tired.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out.
If I live up there, you have to go through the whole.
All through here.
Ooh, mountains, we gon' walk it out, and ooh, mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you.
House them first, no matter their barriers.
And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, I like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you,
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our host, Andrew Keegan.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I am really excited to be here this morning at the very beautiful Mount Olive Lutheran Church and to welcome you all and everybody who is following along on the live stream. As they said, my name is Andrew Keegan. I'm going to be your host. I am very honored to be here hosting the Westside Coalition Celebrating Success Breakfast again. Did this pre-pandemic, and we're back. It's good to be back in person. It's a chaotic world out there, but today is about celebrating the success of those individuals who we are honoring today and the supportive agencies that make it all possible. Look, there's no hiding from the fact that homelessness is a very complicated problem that we Angelenos see every day on our streets. The recent pandemic only complicated things more for those who are challenged financially, mentally, and or with addiction issues in our community. It begs the question for each of us, what can be done, what can we do? And you guys are doing the good work, and we appreciate that. You will see today that working together is the only logical solution for such a complex issue. The Westside Coalition of Santa Monica does the very important work of harmonizing the agencies to overcome homelessness. We recognize the value of the member organization, collective clients, and the community at large, creating a pathway to all work together to provide a solution to the problems for the people on our streets. Every person that we see on the street has a very unique set of circumstances that led them to the place they find themselves. The Celebrating Success Breakfast event highlights the stories of strength, hope, resilience told in their own words by people who never imagined they would end up homeless. By reaching out to our agencies, they found solutions that restored their dignity, trust, and faith to rise above their circumstances. We are all here today to celebrate those who did not give up hope, but instead utilized local resources to move forward toward lives of self-sufficiency and a reconnection with the community. In addition, we will also be celebrating those community members that have gone above and beyond. These volunteers have given vital support to the agency, providing necessities such as meals, financial support, service hours, and their expertise to serve on boards, and even more. Together, let's welcome the 6 new agencies who joined forces with the Westside Coalition. Here from the first new agency, Claris Health, is the Emmy Award-winning actress, Claris board member, Patricia Heaton.
Good morning, everyone. I want to introduce you to some of the newest members of the Westside Coalition, one of whom is very dear to my heart, Claris Health. Claris Health is a primary health care clinic providing low-cost care to people in need. Claris provides all kinds of services, including pregnancy testing, STD testing, ultrasound imaging, and basic health assessment. Here to tell you more about this wonderful organization is their CEO and my good friend, Talitha Phillips.
Thank you, Patty. In this past year, even with all of its challenges, Claris has continued to make an incredibly big impact here in our city. We cared for more than 1,600 women, men, and families through our clinics in West LA, Linwood, and through our mobile medical clinic that serves at over 20 different locations here in LA County. These sites are often known for having limited access to healthcare. We also reached over 7,000 teens, young adults, and parents with our sexual health education program. And we expanded our community partner list to include 270 LA-based agencies that offer specialized services, including additional medical care, housing, substance abuse, and social services that provide additional care to our patients. We are so honored and excited to join the Westside Coalition, and we're excited for all that is ahead of us in this next year.
Thank you, Talitha. I invite you all to learn more about the newest members of the Westside Coalition. Here's David Vandervelde of Awakening Recovery.
Thank you for that introduction, Patricia. What an honor. I am David Vandervelde, the co-founder of Awakening Recovery. We are a unique 12-step based recovery community that uses a highly structured peer mentoring approach. The combination of a rigorous and consistent house structure, along with an active and dedicated alumni support community, makes Awakening Recovery truly unique, creating a highly effective and long-term life change for its residents. In the past 6 years, we have helped over 150 residents and graduated 30 residents. We have an 80% success rate with our graduates maintaining sobriety over a year. Over 70% of our graduates have stayed sober since graduating. Here's another one of the new agencies of the Westside Coalition, Shoes for the Homeless, Inc.
Hello, everyone. It is so nice to be with you here today. My name is Dr. Ira Diamond, and I am the founder and president of Shoes for the Homeless, Inc. Walking is often the only mode of transportation for someone who is homeless. As a podiatrist, I saw many homeless patients in my practice who had foot problems simply because they wore shoes that were literally falling apart or they had no shoes at all. We are committed to providing 65,000 pairs of shoes this year to the homeless and those in need. That's equivalent to 1 pair of shoes for every homeless person in the greater Los Angeles area. We envision a future in which every homeless man, woman, and child has a good pair of shoes that will give them the confidence to take the next step forward in their lives. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mary McGuire, and I'm Executive Director of Village for Vets. Since its founding in 2016, Village for Vets has expanded from providing a few dozen sandwiches to homeless veterans at the VA each week to include a number of programs that support vulnerable veterans on their journey to housing stability. We provide veterans in need with financial assistance, case management, free dental clinics, ID replacement, and other supportive services. We also provided 114 tiny shelters to the CTRS community on the West LA VA campus, which has helped to give a private, elevated standard of living to more than 700 homeless veterans since 2021. These shelters, which cost approximately $10,000 per unit, include heating and air conditioning, a bed, a door with a lock, 3 meals a day, laundry, showers, and sanitary facilities. We really believe that we can end veteran homelessness in Los Angeles and the United States. It's doable, and our veterans deserve it.
I'm Ron Hooks. I'm the Executive Director of West Coast Care. Our primary goal is to try to help people who are experiencing homelessness reconnect with family and friends and travel home. Every day, Monday through Friday, we hit the beach in our Polaris vehicles, engaging people, but most of the time they're asleep. And we try to wake them up with a friendly conversation, offering them water, granola bars, and hygiene kits. Many times, people find themselves broken, just longing to go home. That's where we act as goodwill ambassadors and mediators to try to find a compassionate way to make that happen. We help the homeless get home.
Good morning. My name is Tim Sweeney, and I'm the Executive Director of WIN, originally Westside Infant Family Network. WIN empowers families with young children to build resilience and thrive by strengthening relationships within families and communities. WIN was created in 2005 by a group of Westside organizations to fill a gap in infant and early childhood mental health services. Our award-winning in-home parent-child therapy, paired with case management, forms the foundation of WIN's strength-based, trauma-informed, and relationship-focused support for families. Our work is really rooted in collaboration, and we're delighted to be part of the Westside Coalition.
Hi, Rick Stoff from Volunteer Collective and formerly from Chrysalis, and I'm happy to be here today with all of you. And so my vision has always been, what would our city look like? What would it feel like if everybody did a little something for our neighbors in need? And that is what prompted me to start Volunteer Collective in 2019, just to offer our fellow Angelinos a chance just to do a little something, just something that has impact, ask them to help. And we were amazed that when we did so, thousands of people stepped up to do maybe something in person or even donate something, an in-kind good. And our thought was always that once people get involved, they stay involved. More so, they tell their friends about what they did. And those stories are powerful. So our simple goal for 2023, drive more volunteers to your agencies, give people a chance to tell the story of their experience. Hopefully everybody in the city hears the story. And what will happen? Will our city really change? We're going to see. Thank you very much.
Again, we welcome the 6 new agencies. Now, please join me in a warm welcome to Haley Fuselaar, Westside Coalition Co-Chairman of the Board and PATH's Senior Director of Greater Los Angeles.
Good morning. It is not only the Westside Coalition that is recognizing our honorees today. This morning, each honoree has received a personalized certificate from the California State Senate, courtesy of Senator Ben Allen, the California State Assembly from member Richard Bloom, the City of Santa Monica, compliments of Mayor Sue Himmelrich, an LA County Supervisor's Office courtesy of Supervisor Sheila Kuehl, and the City of Los Angeles from the Office of Councilmember Mike Bonin. Thank you to each of our amazing elected officials. Now, I would like to introduce you to some remarkable individuals who have overcome huge barriers through the guidance of our local agencies. Here are the personal stories from our honorees.
My name is Shane Bittner. I'm 46 years of age, born in Kansas City. I do have an education, and I just gave up in life, you know. My wife committed suicide. I lost myself. I lost all encouragement in my life, and for a while that was okay, being just homeless. It's a vicious circle from food line to food line out there. I needed a new beginning, a fresh start. And I rode my bike from Reno. I went down to Carson City. I ran to Lake Tahoe. I seen wolves. It was a very spiritual movement in my life to come on out here. I ran out of money right at Inglewood High School. And I prayed to God. And this off-duty officer come out and heard me praying, and he gave me $23 and told me about the Rose Center and how that was his street beat and how I'd be able to find help to help me. So I come over this way and I found my help at Santa Monica ARC. The Salvation Army motto is do something, and it stuck to me. They helped me believe in myself again. They inspired truth. They gave me friendship. They gave me hope and belief that I am somebody and that I could accomplish things and care again, to be honest.
So I moved here in 2018, November, on my own from Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't know anyone out here. I didn't have any family, anybody out here. I just came out here to have an independent journey of my own. The hardest part was just finding a place to stay. I was going from hotel to hotel, motel to motel, sleeping in my friend's car. And when I did have a car, I slept in that. The worst time is when I didn't have the luxury of any of those things and I had to basically sleep at the airport. And then I was hands-on with SPY, which is Safe Place for Youth, that was in Venice. I was able to get into this program through SPY where I can, live at this house for about 3 years rent-free. And I took advantage of that. Thank God I was approved to have my own apartment. They've been a major help to me. They helped me find more decent paying jobs. They helped me get into school, helped me get back and forth to school.
I couldn't really afford living on my own by myself. And I decided, you know what? I'm just not gonna pay rent for a little while, And I was working and just drinking and just sleeping in my van, pretty much. It came down to basically the doctor saying, if you keep this up, you're gonna be in big trouble. So that was like a rude awakening for me. I went to the program. I went to a recovery program, and I started attending meetings. I had to go anyway because I had tickets I had to work out with the judge. He was giving me open container tickets and so on and so forth. And luckily the judge gave me, sentenced me to AA meetings. It was like, okay, well, I'm not sitting around getting drunk all day, so, I need to start doing something with myself. So I knew Chrysalis was there in Santa Monica, so I thought that was a good option for me to go get some help since it wasn't working for about a year, And the way with Chrysalis is, if you can't get a job right away, they'll employ you themselves. So I started working for Chrysalis. Through Chrysalis, I got into a program where they gave you a grant to learn a trade. So I went to get a commercial driver's license. So I went and did the school, and I got a Class A driver's license. I am no longer living in my van. It's been since May 2021. So now I have my first apartment by myself, and no roommates paying any of the bills. No girlfriends paying any of the bills. It's just me. Throwing socks on the floor and no one saying anything about it is great.
My leg got broken and I was rushed to the hospital at ER, plus 6 wild weeks in rehabilitation in the hospital. Single woman, lady, by myself, so I needed help because I had the leg elevated and I needed some people to fix me meals and bring me food, and these compassionate Meals on Wheels volunteers, and they would bring the newspaper, healthy snacks from farmers market, tomatoes and cucumbers and salads. They would walk around to see things for safe, if the cords were out of the way, and if the kitchen floor was free from anything. I just felt a great empathy and very cathartic with their helping me heal. I also donated money ongoing for the pet program, because that's for people that are their clients, and then they also have pets that also need food. This is a secret. I know everyone's going to listen now because I'll whisper. The secret, I heard that there was a rumor that sometimes the clients would give the food to their pets because the clients could not afford food for their pet. So that was a miracle that got back to the Meals on Wheels West. Meals on Wheels West, again, more than a meal. They're just absolutely angels on earth.
I'm Kevin Grigsby. I'm from Dallas, Texas. My son's mother was like my best friend. I felt like we were closer than just together as a couple. But she passed after 19 years. So after spending a few months here and there at different shelters, trying to reestablish myself, those few months turned into a few years, like 9. And I ended up at the Salvation Army, and they in turn referred me to the apartment where I'm living at now, through St. Joseph's. So that's how I became familiar with St. Joseph. That was the best move I could ever make in my life. And they gave me a case manager so that I could sort of ground myself into the things I was really particularly interested in, such as going back to school. So that's where I'm heading right now. And I thank St. Joseph's. I thank everybody who had anything to do with me getting with St. Joseph.
So I moved here from Indiana, and I came out here really with no plan and no idea of what Los Angeles was like. I also had a drug problem. I just really couldn't afford rent and food, and eventually, and I had a car payment. I had finally gotten a car, and kind of just had to choose one, and I chose my car because I needed to get to work and I was paying for it. I looked everywhere for a sober living that would take my kids. My daughter was 7. My son, and having 2 kids also is another barrier to different facilities. Yeah, eventually, actually, I lost my kids. Then I was in jail for a while. I went to sober livings, and I was just kind of in and out of a bunch of different, facilities, trying to get things together. And I wanted to get my life together, I got a sponsor, and I worked the AA program. I also went back to school. I eventually got my kids back, how Miriam's House was different than these other programs is that they have the support system with other mothers and kids, and building out those relationships with, it's just like a family. I got a job, full-time job. I was in school part-time, and then I also, was staying sober and, developing a good support system. I finished my AA. I graduated from West LA paralegal program. I am now a paralegal at a law firm. I got my own place. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment with a cat. More layers are unfolding, of my interests and things I like to do. Seeing my kids really blossom to their own, their own selves. They both made good grades. They were on honor roll. I think the biggest thing that I really appreciate is being part of a community.
Used to be a drug abuser. I did drugs most of my life. That started in 2018. Once I was paroled from prison fire camp, I got out and I moved into an SRO, which is a low-income housing. But also I didn't have any structure. When I left the program, it was like I really wasn't ready to leave because mentally I was still locked up. I started venturing back into the drug world, started doing drugs again, and eventually I would hit rock bottom. I would lose everything, my job and everything, my housing, everything. And then one day my friend, I had a good friend, one of my best friends, told me about the Claire Foundation. So it was like, why not give it a shot? The Claire Foundation was over the top. It was everything that I thought it could be. They guided me into a road of sobriety and a sober lifestyle. And I lived there, and it was 6 months. And during that time, you go to meetings, and they help you structure your life and build a little stability, which was awesome. It was fantastic. After 6 months, I hated to leave. They knew I didn't want to leave because it was so great. It felt so good to wake up every morning and be able to walk down the street and people say hi and people welcome you back into society, And so I let them know, I'm getting ready to get out of here. And it's like, okay, we're going to find you a spot. We're going to find you a sober living. And they did. They found me a sober living, which was really nice, really, really, really nice sober living. And they, helped me on my journey, During this time, Path was still there encouraging me to do the right thing and stay on the right course. So I called Path and they were like, we got you. And Path, I gotta say, Path has always been there for me, first of all. Without them, I don't know where I would be today. I would be out there panhandling, on drugs, strung out. But because of the people in Path and the connections that they have, it kept me on the right track. Even when I thought that I couldn't make it, I always had somebody to call and say, you can make it. Look where you're at, look where you've been. Being sober is new for me. I have to, get rid of old friends and old habits, and life is good today, and it's because of this process of recovery and trust, and trust in God and trust in myself that I'm still here today and being able to tell you my story.
All very inspirational stories. Now, let's welcome our other co-chairman of the board for the Westside Coalition and Deputy Executive Director of Safe Place for Youth, Rachel Stitch.
Good morning, everyone. Each year, we recognize the remarkable individuals, businesses, volunteers, and organizations that show their strong commitment to working with the various agencies that make up the Westside Coalition. These community support honorees give selflessly of their time and talent to help those experiencing homelessness. And this year, we have some outstanding honorees whose contributions have made a profound difference in our community and in the lives of so many individuals.
Hello, my name is Ellen Sloan, and I'm a volunteer with the St. Joseph Center in Venice. Sharon introduced me to Bread and Roses, and I started waitressing there 4 years ago. Early this year, I learned of another opportunity at St. Joe's. St. Joe's has a food pantry open weekday mornings. We give out clothes, shoes, toys, linens, and such. I'm blessed, and I want to thank St. Joseph's for providing me with 2 amazing opportunities to serve.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I'm with Share. Every year we house about 500 people into a network of about anywhere from 35 to 45 private single-family homes that are beautifully furnished all the way down to the knives, forks, spoons. Basically in collaborative housing, we do try to help people live in their own resilience and their own independence. We're very active in this community. We're appreciative of the Westside Coalition and all the resources and the relationships that we have throughout the years established with them. And it's been a wonderful partnership, and we look forward to many more years of it.
Hello, my name is Maze Douglas. I have been a delivery volunteer for Meals on Wheels West since 2018, and it has been a tremendous, wonderful opportunity. I benefit so much for being able to provide care for those in need, for those who are most vulnerable. I feel very, very grateful to have this opportunity to give back to humanity and give back to my community.
Hello, my name's Gail Rollman, and I am thrilled to be here to represent the Alcott Center. I have had the pleasure of volunteering here for about a year, a little more than a year now. And I am so excited every time Thursday rolls around. That's my day to go to the Alcott Center and be part of their art therapy program. And it's been extremely rewarding each week to see the people who are part of the program. We've developed a community. Many of the people do not have homes, so this is a safe place for them, a place where they can feel confident and are given the opportunity to share their gifts with others. I am super excited to be here representing Alcott Center, and I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to share all of what they bring to the community to Westside Coalition.
Hi, I'm Christine Kidd, and Venice Community Housing nominated me to be recognized. I started teaching cooking at a community home for foster kids at their Culver City home for youth. And I'm just delighted that I've had this opportunity to work at Venice Community Housing and teach cooking there. I love working with both the residents and the staff, who are all terrific as well.
Hi, Rick Stoff, as the guest of Chrysalis today, and I am honored to be here today, though. And like the clients who will speak today, and the ones who have spoken in the past, like most of you, the experience of spending your time helping people make their way day to day is just a powerful way to be. So I'm thankful to Chrysalis just for my second chance and to letting me meet hundreds of people like you who are doing the same kind of work. But I wanted to say it's been great working with all of you. Thanks.
Hi,
My name is Stephanie Negriff, and I am this year's community partner representing the Westside Family Health Center. I came to know the Westside Family Health Center and the Westside Coalition through my 25-year career with the City of Santa Monica's Big Blue Bus. Just as in public transit, one route is not enough to move a community, but many connected routes can provide mobility for everyone. Last year, Westside relocated its facility to a larger space in Culver City and now provides expanded healthcare options, including mental health and dental services, in addition to the primary and preventive care services it has provided for over 45 years. Having this new state-of-the-art facility will enable the Westside Family Health Center to have a greater impact on underserved and vulnerable populations and make them an even stronger Westside Coalition partner.
Good morning. I'm Terry Morello, Chief Development Officer for the People Concerned. It's an honor for me to stand up here today in front of all of you to share why United Talent Agency and the UTA Foundation has been an incredible community partner to the People Concerned. About 10 years ago, Desiree Flores from the UTA Foundation took a tour of what was then OPCC's West Side program sites and spent several hours talking to Kate Berman, our community partnership manager, about the work being done by the agency and how UTA could help make a difference. Since then, every year, we work hand in hand with their foundation to create unique and impactful volunteer opportunities that not only benefit our programs, but also provide educational experiences for their group as well. Their employees meet people experiencing homelessness and better understand their journey, from hosting games to benefiting the people, hosting games and making meals for our clients, to benefiting the people concerned with their holiday drives. We have grown meaningful relationships between our agencies. We have UTA volunteers who return consistently outside of their planned events. We have UTA volunteers who have become generous donors, and we even have a UTA volunteer who has joined the board of directors. Thank you, United Talent Agency, for helping us build a future where everyone in LA County is housed, healthy, and safe.
Our next guest has given back to our community through Alcott Center. He's one of my favorite people. Please, warm welcome for the very funny, Emmy Award-winning Brad Garrett.
As a comedian, I'm often compelled to look for the lighter side of things. But these days, all you have to do is look around our streets and neighborhoods, and one can only see and feel the pain and suffering that homeless individuals and their families are experiencing. At the Alcott Center, I have seen firsthand how their clients are able to turn their lives around. And one of the first steps in making a connection is to do so with a caseworker. So please help me welcome one of Alcott Center's caseworkers, Ashley McGullum.
Thank you, Brad. My name is Ashley McGullum, and I am the Director of Development for the Alcott Center. I am so grateful to be here today introducing an individual who I have had the privilege of getting to know through our studio art therapy classes over the last year and a half. He is the type of person that lights up any room he is in and can make anyone feel as though they belong. I am incredibly proud to be a small part of his journey with the Alcott Center and to have watched him sell his first piece of art ever. Without further ado, it is an honor to introduce you all to Mark Steffen.
Thank you, Ashley, and thank you, everybody. My name is Mark, and yeah, my life has been a roller coaster of events, but I'm here to tell you how I got to where I'm at now. And it all started, I was sitting in court. I got arrested on some charges. I'm sitting in court, and the public defender came up to me, and she asked me, if I was homeless. I said, yeah. He said, do you got mental health issues? Yeah. said, well, they have this program, ODR programs, a reentry program they have, and I got my case transferred to the ODR program. It wasn't easy for me. You know, I went to 6 transitional livings, and I left or I got kicked out because of my drinking. I'm a real alcoholic. Grateful to say that I don't drink anymore, but yeah, my alcoholism took me to where cardboard and concrete was comfortable, with being that inebriated every day. You know, and if I didn't have a drink, I would have grand mal seizures. And one of those seizures landed me in the hospital. I was in a coma for 3 days. And a short-term memory loss is frightening, because one of my first seizures, the paramedic asked me what my name was, and I couldn't recall my name. And that was a very frightening moment for me. It came back, and it comes back shortly. But it's short-term memory loss is a lot to deal with. You know, and my alcoholism, I was bleeding out every day, all day. If I didn't have a drink first thing in the morning, I would have withdrawals and have seizures. I drank all day, every day, all night, and you know, I got to the point where, you know, I was inebriated as usual, and I was on the streets, and it started raining. And being homeless and it's raining and you have no shelter to get out of the rain, you're going to be wet and cold and miserable. And so I decided to, there was 2 dumpsters in front of this building. One was for regular trash, one was for recycling. So inside the recycling bin was just nothing but cardboard, and it was clean. So I jumped in, I lined the walls, you know, for insulation. Made a little bed, got some bubble wrap as a pillow, and took off my shoes and passed out. Well, next thing I know, I woke up in midair at 5 in the morning, being dumped in back of the trash truck, and it started compacting. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and thankfully the trash truck guys heard me, and they stopped it from compacting, and you know, looking for my shoes, and I jumped out of there, and you know, that's where my drinking took me to, you know, and I got sick of it, and I knew I couldn't just stop drinking, so I had to taper down. And with this ODR program, I was in and out. I would go to a transitional living, and I'd either get kicked out or I'd just leave because whatever, because of alcoholism. And I finally decided to give up the alcohol, and I tapered down as much as I could, because you can't just stop drinking. And with this ODR program, the judge says, "Do you still want the program?" I said, "Yes." Well, very grateful for Alcott. They lined me up with Alcott, and they've been with me every step of the way, and I'm really grateful for them doing so. They would even look for me at my haunts when I would leave this transitional living, but I landed in one that was okay, and I dealt with the characters that were there and the personalities, so on and so forth, and I stayed there for a year, and didn't get any write-ups, didn't get any trouble, and I finally got my apartment, you know, and it was, this is all, you know, it happened really fast. When I committed, within a year, you know, I had my apartment, my own keys, and nobody else but me, you know, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for all the support that these programs have given me, and I'm really grateful for Alcott for being with me every step of the way. You know, I'd like to say thank you, and the journey is still ongoing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, and congrats on your journey. Continue. In order for our virtual breakfast to run seamlessly, there is a magical team back there that has been working tirelessly behind the scenes. Here's one of the producers, Andrea Antez Halvorson.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm Audrey Antis, and before I introduce our next guest, I'd like to send out a very special thank you to the Westside Coalition's Executive Director, Ms. Darcy Naiva. Thank you. Darcy could not be with us today, but she is the sole reason this event happens each year. Her selfless dedication and the endless hours of work that she puts into this celebration is why we are all here today. So, thank you. Darcy, I know you're home watching. We miss you, we love you, and we thank you. Now I'd like to introduce our next guest, LA Councilman Mike Bonin.
Good morning, everybody. It is an incredible honor to be here at this event. This, for me, every year is such an incredible and an inspiring event. The stories we hear at this event are, for me, they're pretty holy stories that inspire me throughout the year. I still remember from 2016 the story of Sarah, whose family lost their home in Venice, and she slept on the beach because there wasn't room for her mother, her siblings, and her in their car. I still remember the story of Janice and Jeremiah, her young son, 3 years old, and every night they had to face the choice, do we sleep on the beach or do we sleep on the bus? And I'm going to remember the stories we have heard today. I will certainly remember the trash compactor story. I will remember the stories we have heard here today because they are so powerful. They are so powerful, and they are the truth. The stories we hear here are a powerful example of what we can do, of what we must do and what we are called to do. These are stories of people who have faced and overcome adversity. These are stories of people coming together to lift each other up. And that's how we get through the various crises we're facing right now. We have an incredible, horrible, tremendous homelessness crisis. We have heard words of ugly racism from some of the most powerful people in Los Angeles. And even more disturbingly, we suffer every day from the quiet violence of the systemic racism that creates homelessness. But we can face these challenges and we can make the choices to create a new outcome. We've got elections going on right now. In so many of the contests, it's a choice between fear and frustration and dehumanization and criminalization, and hope and determination and optimism and humanity and housing. And those are the choices that we have the power to make. And because of the stories that I hear here every year, because of the incredible partnerships I see from the people in this room every single day, I have faith that that's possible and that we can overcome all of these crises. And man, Westside Coalition is such a huge part of that, such a huge part of that. The Westside Coalition is now larger than ever before in its 40-year history, with over 75 total members. This year alone, they have gained over 10 new members, and in the interest of their collaborative work, they are gaining more attention throughout the West Side. The success of the individual agencies has also grown despite the many tremendous challenges over the past few years. I'd like to introduce now John Masseri, Chris Baca, and Nick Maiorino to hear how they have pivoted and added programs to better serve those in needs of their communities. This is just a sample of the great work that's being done throughout the West Side in the areas of housing and hunger and health.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nick Maiorino, Chief Executive Officer for the Alcott Center for Mental Health Services. Alcott's mission is to enhance the quality of life and empower individuals faced with mental health challenges as they transition towards wellness. We are in our 43rd year of providing comprehensive mental health and supportive housing services to the community. We've never seen a higher demand for mental health services. In fact, just over the last 6 months, our community-based mental health clinic provided over 600 individuals with comprehensive mental health care, assisting them towards wellness. And our supportive housing services have and continue to grow. Just over the last 6 months, via a range of programs, including intensive case management services, bridge housing, and a Project Home Key, we have served over 800 individuals, assisting them toward permanent housing solutions. At the Alcott Center, we are working toward a world free of stigma, full of hope, where all have equal access to resources. We hope that you will join our cause. Thank you.
Hi, this is Chris Baca, Executive Director of Meals on Wheels here in Santa Monica. Meals on Wheels has been servicing people for nearly 50 years, and we provide more than a meal. This year, we'll deliver more than 220,000 meals to over 700 unduplicated clients. Many of those clients, 26%, are formerly homeless people. So Meals on Wheels West is part of the solution to homelessness. We partner with Venice Community Housing, CCSM, the People Concerned, many other organizations that provide housing and services. Our newest program is Community Connections. That program has replaced our in-person wellness checks with virtual wellness checks. Twice a week, our volunteers reach out to our clients and check on their health and wellness, help them with referrals to other resources, and make them have the ability to reintegrate into society if they were formerly homeless, and to provide resources for seniors so that they can age in place. We also work with veterans and to help them reintegrate to society, especially the younger ones. Our mission is to help older folks live independently and age in place. Meals on Wheels West looks forward to working with all our partners in the Westside Coalition as we all work together to make this community a better place.
Hi, I'm John Masseri, the CEO of the People Concerned. As a founding member of the Westside Coalition, our organization is proud to work alongside our colleagues to ensure that every Angelino is housed, healthy, and safe. You've heard the remarkable stories of individuals who have overcome significant challenges in their lives and what it takes to secure and maintain permanent housing. The dedicated staff and volunteers of our member agencies work day in and day out to assist our unhoused neighbors to move indoors. No easy feat, considering the high cost and limited availability of housing in Los Angeles, and yet thousands of people every year are finding their way home. Last year, the People Concerned provided outreach to over 5,000 people, answered almost 1,700 calls on our 24-hour domestic violence hotline, provided over 40,000 mental health services, and permanently housed over 1,000 people. We're one part of a much larger effort on the West Side and across the county to assist our neighbors in their journey back to safe, affordable, permanent homes.
It's just so great to see all these agencies and their diligent hard work and how it's paying off. Bravo, thank you guys. Next up on our agenda, please help me welcome Ramon Alvarado from Community Corporation of Santa Monica.
Good day, mi gente. My name is Ramon Alvarado, and I'm part of the resident services team at Community Corporation of Santa Monica with the specialization in wellness and sustainability. Cutting-edge research has demonstrated that when we approach ideas of wellness, we must take an intersectional and holistic approach that takes into account all of the fundamental needs of a person in the context of community. Each of our representative organizations here today contribute to the idea of interrelationship, which facilitates building strong communities. Many people come from experiences where community was lacking, and that can easily translate into houselessness.
A treasured member of our coalition is Dr. Coley King. He has dedicated his life to helping those who live on the streets. For over 10 years, Dr. King has gone out into the encampments to reach homeless individuals, people who are reticent to come into the clinic. Every day he works hard to build a rapport with those suffering mental and medical issues, encouraging them to come into the Venice Family Clinic for more comprehensive services. Those who know Dr. King know that his kind demeanor and impeccable integrity works like magic on the street. Having done a story on him several years ago for our breakfast, we followed up to see where he is now.
So traditionally, in the past, street medicine, and it still exists this way in its foundation, is throw on a backpack and go meet people where they're at and provide the best medical care you can. We realized on the way that maybe add a vehicle with some clinical space and a little space for safety and dignity for these people, and have a place for them to sit and talk privately, have a place for our nursing staff to draw blood on them, get some labs and get some vaccines on board. It's been really important during the pandemic to get our COVID vaccines out there. They don't have to get in the van to see us. We will absolutely get out and go see them where they're at. So we had an opportunity to build a really cool street medicine vehicle, the street medicine van, with Barry and Wendy Meyer. We got it launched in January of 21, and it's been copied up to 10 times already, I think the same floor plan that we designed. But there are huge barriers to coming into buildings and spaces. One of those barriers is that someone who is suffering in this situation may not feel welcome to come in to a brick and mortar traditional building. That fundamental feeling of unwelcomeness can prevent them to receive life-saving materials. We have to deliver these materials to them where they're at. Harm reduction is an art and a practice of getting supplies and educational materials and a safety net together for people who are using drugs and alcohol so that they can use more safely. That's the most simple thing. So with this ongoing opioid epidemic, the really sad part is the overwhelming amount of unneeded deaths. Within the Santa Monica area, in just the last month or two, we've had, I think, 7 or 8 overdoses that these people died, and that didn't need to happen. They potentially thought they were taking methamphetamine, but that could have been laced with fentanyl. So a big part of this is education of the folks that are out there and letting them know that we have testing strips so they can be educated on what sort of drug that they might be getting to prevent this overdose. The other part is getting them Narcan into their hands, which is a medicine that can reverse an overdose. And there's a technical side of that, of bringing supplies to them so they can use more safely. And I think more importantly, there's an emotional side to that, and it's the human connection of meeting someone where they're at and showing them that you're there to help them and you're there to make a human connection with them. And if and when they're ready to make a change to get sober, you often can be that person who can help them at that next step when they're ready to get sober.
Today we are going to Turning Point, which is an interim shelter in Santa Monica. We have
but which way do I go? Do I turn
left
or right?
Left. We have 3 follow-ups for the monkeypox vaccine that we gave a few weeks ago.
Cool.
And then we have at 11 a Suboxone. A client wants to get started on Suboxone at Reed Park.
Sounds good. Excellent. Okay, so how long have you been?
2 weeks today.
You look 2 weeks better.
A lot better.
Around this way. What's the main thing you needed to see us for this morning?
Dizziness and nausea.
And you had that in the past?
Yeah.
Okay, blood pressure is nice and low.
9354.
Cholesterol was a little high. I don't think you've been on your Lipitor for a little while, right? You have your lie flat.
Yeah.
Try to hold that for a minute. Tell me if you spin. You gotta let me know if you start spinning, okay?
Yeah. You're going 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're feeling it right now? Okay. Are you gonna get too nauseous?
Yeah, I need to set up.
Oh, here we go. Come on up. Grab my hand.
Ugh.
How often do you get these episodes of spinning?
Usually about 2 or 3 times a year.
Last for
About a
days?
month.
Okay. Do you ever vomit?
I did this morning. I got so nauseous. But I took my last 2 vitamins.
Well, this is also a little bit complicated that your blood pressure may be a little on the lower side. So maybe we decrease the medications a little bit and see if that has something to do with it. Okay. Okay. Open up and say ah. Ah, come on. Sit
Ah.
There we go. Good job. All right. You get a picture of those pretty eyes?
Yes, I did. We're good.
Thank you to Dr. King, Mercedes, Ramon, and everybody who's spoken here today. For our final honoree speech, here is the director of Turning Point, a project of the people concerned, Lori Bowe.
Good morning. My name is Lori Bowe, and I am the director of Turning Point, which is a project of the people concerned. It is truly my pleasure to introduce to you a gentleman who was a client at Turning Point. From the day he entered the shelter to the day he moved into his own apartment, I witnessed him exhibiting to clients and staff care, kindness, and compassion. He was always willing to offer a helping hand to anyone who needed it. In addition, he worked really hard with his case manager to obtain permanent housing. He moved into his own apartment 6 months ago, and he has not stopped celebrating. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ulansey Peterson.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. At a bus stop, not too long ago, I was a bus operator, and I was assaulted by an angry customer. As you can imagine, I did not handle that experience very well. I fell into a very deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job. I lost my car. I lost my apartment. After struggling as a rideshare driver, I had a stroke. I had the stroke right when the pandemic began. While I was in the hospital, I was able to deal with the depression, received the medication I needed, but then I had no support from friends and family. A social worker, an LA County social worker, he worked very hard, and he connected me with the people concerned. The people concerned connected me with Turning Point in Santa Monica. There, I received the safety, stability, and resources I needed to rebuild my life. You may be honoring me, but I am honoring you. Every step I take, I thank you for helping me save my life. I thank the staff at Turning Point, the countless support professionals who helped get me up on this stage today. Thank you so much.
Wow, what a great show. Dr. King, you're here. Wow, that was amazing, you were right there. All right, what a great show. We can't end without recognizing the special organizations that make the Celebrating Success Breakfast even possible. Thank you to our financial sponsors, and a special thank you again to those who have supported over the years. Everyone in campaign, the City of Santa Monica, St. Matthew's Parish, Kevin McCardle, Mount Olive Lutheran Church, where we are, Supervisor Sheila Kuehl, Providence St. John's Healthcare, Spin Scooters, why not, Nancy Watson, Janet Zerum, the Fairmont Miramar Hotel and Bungalows, where I hosted one year, James Kilkowski, and a very special thank you to our production team. And it was said earlier by Audrey, Darcy, we love you. It's all because you bring all these magical people together. So thank you so much. Let's give a warm round of applause to everybody who made this show possible. And lastly, let's hear again from our good friend and the CEO of the People Concern, John Masseri.
Well, what an amazing morning we've all shared together. Hearing the incredible stories of resilience and what it takes for people to find their way home is truly inspiring. To all of our honorees and the dedicated staff of the Westside Coalition member agencies who work tirelessly every day to support them, we acknowledge your hard work and accomplishments. Congratulations. We often hear folks say homelessness is an incredible problem that can't be solved. It's just too big. Well, that's simply not true. You've just heard the stories of people who have overcome significant challenges and are now housed. And there are thousands more in LA County each year who move off the streets and into housing. Regardless of how people end up homeless, we know that permanent homes solve homelessness. Housing is the most stabilizing factor in our life, a safe place to store our belongings, take care of our personal hygiene, and prepare and eat nutritious food. The refuge and comfort we all want in our lives is the same for our honorees and for all the people currently living outdoors. We hear a lot about housing first, but it's not just about housing. It's housing with access to consistent, high-quality care, treatment, and support services tailored to the individual needs of the person to help them maintain their housing. And that's really important because it's not only about getting people housed, it's about keeping them housed. Perhaps another way to think about housing first is housing always. We begin the difficult work of engaging with people and building trust, doing whatever it takes for as long as it takes to support them in their journey to housing. Sometimes that involves a temporary stay in a motel or shelter, other times in a residential detox or treatment program, and sometimes directly from the streets into permanent housing. Whatever the journey, and it's not the same for everyone, all roads lead to permanent housing. As the crisis of homelessness has grown across our city, it's easy to become discouraged and think nothing is being done. But today's celebration is one example of the extraordinary work being done every day across Los Angeles to bring our unhoused neighbors indoors. It isn't easy and sometimes takes a long time, but there are dozens of people today moving into new homes, and that's something we're celebrating. Now here's a montage to show why housing comes first.
And the stars fill the night. That's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. before the sun begins to shine. We're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I got a made up mind. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone. And I just might fail, but Lord knows I'll try. Shasters fill up the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom